One day in 1891, James Naismith decided to invent the game of basketball, and since then the game has undergone huge changes. Since that beautiful day in 1891, we've categorized many people and times into different eras. For example, Jordan's from the 80s and 90s era, LeBron's in the 21st century era, Kareem is from the 60s, yada yada yada, you get the point. You're probably wondering, what does eras have to do with the topic of this video? Julian Newman. Julian Newman has been deemed as one of the most overrated prospects of all time and doesn't have a single college offer to date and will most likely have to play overseas. The question today is, what era would Julian Newman play best in? Hey guys, what's going on? Shaney 2K here, back with another video. It's been a while, but I'm going to be on a more consistent uploading schedule, and I apologize, just a lot's going on lately, but I don't want to dwell on that too much. So let's hop into this video. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're at about 815 at the moment. So if you're new, subscribe to the channel, like up the video, and comment what era you think Julian Newman played best in. And let's hop into this amazing video. So, would Julian Newman be better in the 70s than he is now? Would he play better in the peak of popularity with basketball in the 90s? Or is he more of a 1940s player when the league was simple fundamentals? Well, it is an incredibly subjective question. There's not a single answer to the question, just pure speculation. For purposes of this video, Julian Newman has time-traveled with his skill set completely, so his game won't change because he was born in the 60s or 80s or anything like that. Let's see what we have from Julian first. In 201 high school games covered by Max Preps, he has averaged 25.1 points a game, 9 assists per game, and 4.3 rebounds a game, which is surprising considering he is 5'7", also averaging 3.3 steals a game and 0.1 block a game. Now, 25 points per game is pretty impressive, but it's even more impressive when you realize he's been playing varsity since 2012, when he was in 5th grade. Since his freshman year, Julian has averaged 31.2 points per game, which is insane. Julian lost his senior season due to the pandemic, so it seems. So in 3 years, he put up 3,186 points, which is absolutely insane to say. In his 7 years recorded, he has put up around 5,000 points, also bonkers. Muggsy was drafted in 1987 with the 12th overall pick, after only averaging 11.3 points per game. Muggsy is the shortest player in NBA history at 5'3", 4 inches shorter than Julian Newman. Muggsy played for 14 years in the league, finding success even though he was facing players much taller. So would Julian do good? There is a three-point line at this point. Short stars were learning how to thrive, and Julian, combined with his handles and three-point shot, would be much ahead of the learning curve. So I do think Julian would do great in the 1980s. Let's look at some other eras such as the 70s. I do not think Newman would survive in the 1970s. The three-point line wasn't implemented until 1979, so one facet of Julian's game is now worth 2/3 of what it would be later. There's also the era of giants, such as the NBA all-time scoring leader as of right now, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dr. J, and an aging Wilt Chamberlain, but he's still playing. The game's physicality compared to today was much tougher, and Julian with his size and attitude may not be able to do as well as he would with the three, and especially if he has to go up against the giants of this era. There was Pete Maravich, who is someone I always love to talk about, and he was a three-point shooter with no line, but his career isn't very memorable, and the same issue arose for him. Okay, so 70s are most likely out for Julian Newman, so what about the 90s? Let's get into some of the talent. John Stockton, Patrick Ewing, Gary Payton, Clyde Drexler, Dikembe Mutombo, Shaq. Kobe began his career in the late 90s. Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, and of course the 1990s Bulls as a whole. So this era is loaded with talent, and I don't see much room for Julian Newman here. How about the 2000s? Well, the same problem arises that he has now. Height is beginning to go up, and the need for shorter players being taken over by taller players who can do what shorter players can do and more. Also, for the talent, players such as LeBron, Kobe, Shaq, AI, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Dwayne Wade, Steve Nash, you get the picture. While shorter players like Isaiah Thomas have made it, that's the only player out of the entire league, and Newman isn't close to IT's playing level and is shorter than him. The 80s seemed perfect, moving from big man basketball to more talented and shooting basketball than ever before, so Julian would definitely have a shot in the mid-1980s in the NBA. I wish Julian the best overseas. As much as we all hate Jamie Newman and such, good luck to the Newman family as a whole. That's all for the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed my first video in about a week or so. It was a lot of fun to make. It's a lot of fun to always talk about Julian Newman. I really hope he does good overseas. And I hope his sister does something with basketball as well. As much as we despise them for their entire attitude and family in their videos, it's not something we can really hate on Julian for, because he didn't put himself in that position. That's all for the video, guys. For new, subscribe, like up the video, and what era do you think Julian Newman would work out best in? That's all. Peace out.